News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. And there is your closing bell for this Friday on Wall Street. A roller coaster end to a roller coaster week as stocks pare back at least some of those losses they've seen this week. We bring you the closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 gained 32 points. NASDAQ gained 127 points, and the Dow gained 222 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.31%. The 2-year yield is at 3.99%. The NASDAQ 100 index fell more than 10% from its peak last month, entering a correction. And Fed policymakers are keen to stay on hold as they navigate uncertainty over President Trump's economic proposals. Fed Chair Jay Powell says they continue to track the new policies and their effect on the economy.
Looking ahead, the new administration is in the process of implementing significant policy changes in 4 distinct areas: trade, immigration, fiscal policy, and regulation. It is the net effect of these policy changes that will matter for the economy and for the path of monetary policy. While there have been recent developments in some of these areas, especially trade policy, uncertainty around the changes and their likely effects remains high.
Part of that uncertainty, some estimates show the combination of such policies could put upward pressure on inflation while weighing on overall economic growth. Fed Governor Adriana Kugler suggests holding interest rates steady for some time because of upside risks to inflation and recent increases in inflation expectations. She notes inflation has largely moved sideways since the second half of last year. Adding to the uncertainty, more tariffs on Canada. President Trump says they could be announced soon.
They'll be met with the exact same tariff unless they drop it, and that's what reciprocal means. And we may do it as early as today, or we'll wait till Monday or Tuesday, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to charge the same thing. It's not fair, never has been fair.
President Trump says Canada's been ripping off the U.S. for years. Russia says it's willing to discuss a temporary truce in Ukraine if there's progress toward a final peace settlement. To agree to a ceasefire, Russia wants a clear understanding of the framework principles of the final peace accord. President Trump says he believes Vladimir Putin really does want to end the war.
I believe him. I think we're doing very well with Russia. I'm finding it more difficult, frankly, to deal with Ukraine. As you know, we're meeting in Saudi Arabia sometime next week early. In terms of getting a final settlement, it may be easier dealing with Russia, which is surprising.
Russia rejects the presence of NATO troops on Ukrainian soil, but is open to countries like China deploying forces to Ukraine as part of a peacekeeping mission. This after President Trump posted on social media this morning he's considering banking restrictions, sanctions, and tariffs on Russia. Bitcoin's slide continues, now down about 3%, paring back some of its losses from earlier today, but is now below 88,000. Speaking of Bitcoin, President Trump wants to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve with an initial deposit of an estimated 200,000 it already holds. David Sachs, the White House crypto and artificial intelligence czar, explains where that initial deposit comes from.
The federal government obtained around 400,000 Bitcoin over the past decade through criminal and civil forfeitures and seizures. And so the government has to have a strategy for how it deals with this. Bitcoin is scarce. It's valuable. It's strategic for the United States to hold on to this as a long-term reserve asset.
White House crypto czar David Sachs on Bloomberg Television. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent warns the U.S. economy may see disruption as the Trump administration shifts the basis for growth away from the government and toward the private sector.
Could we be seeing that this economy that we inherited starting to roll a bit? Sure. And look, there's going to be a natural adjustment as we move away from public spending to private spending.
Bessent warns there will be a detox period as the economy adjusts. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.